What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Future Fight. So, all but confirmed, we are getting no Black Panther in the month of Wakanda Forever. Yeah, you heard that right. We're literally getting no Black Panther in the month of Wakanda Forever. I don't know what the fuck to say about this, to be perfectly honest with you. Instead, we got Captain America coming to us, and then we've got Frank Castle, the Punisher. So the superhero who once proclaimed the war against crime leads the hands with his demonic fists. Check out the new looks and ability of this superhero. They need to add a new identity in for characters like the Punisher, because this dude's not a hero, right? Let's just be perfectly honest. Punisher's a vigilante. That's what he is. I think we need that new class of hero. It needs to be hero, superhero, and vigilantes, or vigilantes and anti-heroes, or something like that. I think Punisher probably fit in that anti-heroes. We will announce more information through the patch details later. Want to show you this so that way you knew there's not another update coming, sneak peek coming here. You can look in the news if you want to, but there's definitely not another one coming. Then we come over here. The Punisher, now imbued with the power of the beast, leads the hand in his crusade against crime. So if you aren't aware, there was a comic book series that was pushed out, had Punisher #1. It was written by Jason Aaron. He joined the series. Jason Aaron's, for those of you who aren't aware, also wrote Thor, God of Thunder #1. So he took over the helm for this series. At the time, previous to this, there was a lot of controversy surrounding the use of the Punisher logo. I'm trying to think of how best to say this. Basically, the logo for Punisher had been co-opted by law enforcement inside the United States, and a lot of right-wing groups, U.S. military, and the people that really, it just didn't make sense to co-opt that logo. Like, let's be freaking truthful about this. Punisher was always a vigilante, always an anti-hero, always a psychopath, always a lunatic, always on the fringe of radicalism. And so to have these type of institutions co-opt that symbol for their usage, it just didn't make sense, right? Because one is supposed to be about law and order, protecting and serving. Punisher ain't that dude. He just never has been that dude. He will never be that dude. And I think part of changing the logo was the Punisher creator basically was like, yo, dude, this logo was never meant for you people. Like, the person that's supposed to be in stark contrast to your mission should be this dude. Like, if you are here in your law and order, this Punisher logo is all the way over here on the far extremism of just like death and destruction. Like, like this dude is kill and be killed, kill everybody as you see fit kind of deal. So why they, when they went into this whole thing, I think Jason Aaron didn't have anything but a mission to show what Punisher was at probably some of his best. It's weird to say that, and worse, by basically portraying him the way that he had been portrayed in the days of like Marvel Knights, right? When like even there was an interview done with him. I can't remember who did the interview, where he was literally talking about the Punisher, and he was saying how like, oh, the change in logo, people thought that it was going to be like a different connotation to the character. Maybe he was going to change in some sort. No. Jason Aaron's basically went on this new series to show Punisher the way I grew up reading this character. Like, the dude literally had no care. His whole mission was retribution and revenge, and that was by any means necessary. He didn't care whether he had to kill superheroes, cops, or anybody else in between in order to get that done. But that's what he was going to unalive. He was just going to basically wipe out any form of corruption. He would probably more likely go into a police station or something like that and do harm than he would do any good. And that was part of what we got here, is that you have a fully unhinged Frank Castle in terms of, the character coming forward, and he doesn't have to care about anything because he's working for the hand. Because I don't want to spoil it in case you go read it, but the hand basically gives him something that, you know, they give him an offer that he just cannot refuse in exchange for his wanton destruction, doing whatever it is that he wants to do. And he gladly accepts and literally goes on from there, being the Punisher. Like, I mean the Punisher of old, not, you know, how Disney wokeified Moon Knight, for instance, and gave us the Moon Knight television show. I mean, like, this dude just literally just went on an entire, like, yeah, dude was crazy. So the thing that I'm concerned about is I don't know how we got here. Perfectly honest with you. Like, why do we have a Punisher and a Captain America in an update where we should be celebrating Wakanda Forever? For those of you who haven't seen the movie yet, spoilers ahead. Stop the video here. If you haven't seen anything, stop the video here, because basically we got the Punisher coming. I'll give you guys the update details on a later vid, but stop the video here. In a month where it should have been a Wakanda Forever celebration, where you basically have Tenoch Huerta's Namor, you have Letitia Wright, Shuri's Black Panther, you have M'Baku, you have Okoye, who takes on the new role of the Midnight Angels. You have Anika, who also serves with her in that same exact role. You have Okoye, Nakia, who takes on another role. These are characters that could have been done. Hell, I would have preferred to see Martin Freeman's agent in here as a support character than to have seen this. Like, there's a whole breadth of that movie in terms of creating characters. Nomura, Atuma, hell, you could have did a Queen Ramonda inside this. There was just so much in a very diverse, or diverse, I guess some people would argue about that, in an ensemble cast like Black Panther, that it just doesn't exactly make sense. But here we are. Look, even this doesn't make sense to me, because I've seen some people talk about that, you know, okay, we've got Captain America because it was a celebration of Veterans Day. What? Why would the Korean developers care more about celebrating Veterans Day for one segment of his player base more than they would just delivering what would be a global phenomenon in terms of Black Panther Wakanda Forever? I have no clue, but there you have it, right? So these are the previous uniforms that we had for Punisher. He's had a few, but none of them necessarily rock anything like that. So we got Cosmic Ghost Rider was his last uniform inside here. Wasn't a bad update in terms of uniform, but you know, I don't know. I didn't really care for it that much in terms. I think I leveled it up just to level it up. I thought the uniform kind of looked, it was all right. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it was there. So the bad part about this is that not only are, like, I think you could get away with a Wakanda Forever update and giving a tier 4 in terms of a combat, or tier 4ing Shuri in a later stage of the update, like maybe post the movie's release, so that way you have another speed tier 4 instead of giving us another Captain America tier 4 where we get a combat, and then we also roll into a tier 3 for Punisher where he's also a combat class. So essentially, the justification here is just really hard to imagine, because I'm going to imagine, for the sake of me, that he's going to lose this universal tag here and probably go back to being a combat class, because it really wouldn't make sense for him to be a universal character. So we'll probably get back to his origins of being combat. Why? I don't know, but I think there'll be a lot of people excited about a Punisher update. I just question the timing of it. It just doesn't make sense. So I don't know. You make your druthers about it, but we'll get the update, the patch update here soon, later today probably. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Until next time, peace.